This is a quick mic test 1 2, mic test 1 2, even as we get to begin from where we stopped. All right. Now, this is a beautiful Friday. I think this is going to be the very last Friday of the month of January. This is the 30th of Friday, January 2026. You can see the way the year is moving very fast, right? So, as we say, after celebration, now, yes, get back to the work and fully commit to it, right? As we now also proceed with our German class. Guys, I believe you're still putting in the work. As I always say in the lessons that I share with us, it's always about practicing, which makes you perfect, right? It's always about you putting in the day-to-day activity and mindset to it so that you are always improving, right? Now, in this lesson, we've chosen one of the areas that many people struggle with. We're going to be targeting the present, the past, and even the perfect. Yeah, there are these examples of verbs that I want us to emphasize so that we see the pattern that happens, right? Now, of course, in German, you will see that the pattern is almost similar to English, right? Because we have both regular and irregular verbs when discussing the various verbs that we have in German. So, what I'm going to do is I will list some examples for us here so that we see the pattern by which we form these present, past, and even perfect tense, right? So, I will begin with the first verb. Let's use the verb kaufen. We're going to be using the first verb, which is kaufen. Now, originally, the verb kaufen, as you know very well, this is to buy, right? The verb kaufen simply means to buy, all right? Now, kaufen, if you conjugate it in the present tense, let's give it its conjugation, right? We'll give it under ich. So, normally, if I conjugate kaufen in the present tense, you normally simply say ich kaufe, right? Ich kaufe. I am buying. All right. Now, in the past tense, look at this. Now, in the past tense, it now becomes kaufte. Now, be careful with the changing in the ending now. So here, it becomes kaufte. So, ich kaufe, present tense, and then past is ich kaufte. I bought. This is past. And then in the perfect, that becomes habe gekauft. Look at that. Ich habe gekauft. Look at that. So ich kaufe, present tense, and then past is ich kaufte. I bought. And then now in the perfect, ich habe gekauft. All right. Let's see another example also. I want to compare this kaufen and verkaufen. Let's see verkaufen. Now we will only be giving in the ich form. As long as you know it in the ich form, the personal pronouns we conjugate as usual. All right. So there's this other one which is verkaufen. Look at that. Verkaufen. Now, verkaufen is to sell. All right. Verkaufen is to sell. So you can see kaufen is ich kaufe, and then past, ich kaufte, and then perfect, ich habe gekauft. All right. That is kaufen. Now, how about this second one, to sell, verkaufen? So verkaufen, under ich, I would say, so I will only give them in the ich form, okay? So, ich verkaufe, look at that, ich verkaufe, present, and then in the past now becomes ich verkaufte. Now be careful with the ending, verkaufte. Okay, so ich verkaufe, I am selling. Remember, the verkaufen means to sell. So ich verkaufe, I am selling, and then past ich verkaufte, I sold. All right, and then in the perfect, now it becomes ich habe verkauft. Ich habe verkauft. That is an example also of a regular one. Look at that. Ich verkaufe. Ich verkaufte. Ich habe verkauft. I am selling. I sold. And then I have sold. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and see some other example. That one is verkaufen. Now, I also want to bring in the separable one, einkaufen. I believe you've seen this one, yeah? Kaufen, to buy, verkaufen, to sell. All right. Now, there's this other one, which is einkaufen. There is einkaufen. Now, this is a separable one. Einkaufen normally is a separable one. The meaning of einkaufen, this is simply to shop. This one means to shop. It also means to purchase, same as to buy, right? So einkaufen, to shop, or even to purchase. Now, the only issue I'd like you to notice that this is a separable verb. All right, it's a separable. So if I have to conjugate it, I have to remove this prefix and put at the end. So let's conjugate it now. So under ich, you would say present. Ich kaufe. Look at that. Ich kaufe ein. The prefix coming there. Ich kaufe ein, separable. And then in the past, look at that. Now in the past, I would say ich kaufte ein. Look at that. So present, ich kaufe ein. I am shopping. And then past, ich kaufte ein. I shopped. All right. Now in the perfect, now becomes ich habe. Let me do like this. Ich habe ein gekauft. Ich habe ein gekauft. Do you see that? So you see the three, how they differentiate, yeah? This was the kaufen. In a moment, I want us to see some sentence examples, right? So kaufen, to buy. So ich kaufe, ich kaufte, I bought, ich habe gekauft, I have bought, right? And then verkaufen, we said to sell. Ich verkaufe, I am selling. Ich verkaufte, I sold. And then ich habe verkauft, I have sold. All right? Now the last one, which is a separable, einkaufen, separable. Now I say, ich kaufe ein, I am shopping. And then past, ich kaufte ein, right? And then in the perfect, ich habe eingekauft, I have shopped. All right. So what I'd like us to do right now is I want us to take some sentences and attempt translating, right? Let's see some sentences and then we're going to attempt translating using these three verbs. Now, in my first sentence example you've been given, how would you translate this? I have bought a new car. I have bought a new car. How will you say that? Right, I have bought a new car. Now, we're talking about to buy, which is verkaufen, right? So, I have bought a new car. Your answer should be, I have bought a new car. Ich habe, right? Ich habe. Now, in German, the bought, we said, is placed at the very end. Don't say, ich habe gekauft. Ich habe, and then ein neues Auto, right? Ich habe ein neues Auto, all right? And then gekauft now comes at the end. So, ich habe ein neues Auto gekauft. I have bought a new car. Don't say, ich habe gekauft ein neues Auto. No. In German, we say that how do you call it? This participle comes at the end of the sentence, unlike in English. All right. So I want to give us some additional sentences to see also how you are able to translate it. Let's see another one. Let's make it a question. You want to say, have you sold, right? Have you sold the books? Have you sold the books? Look at this. Again, this is given in the perfect. Have you sold the books? How do you say it? Right, right. And as you attempt to do it in the comment section, please share with me which level you're currently in so that I can see how you are able to form the statements. Feel so free to share where you're tuning in from, right? Etc. etc. So how do you say this sentence? Have you sold the books? Have you sold? Now remember, it's given in the perfect. All right. This one is now in the perfect tense. Have you sold the books? I will be giving the person who tries it fastly. I'm seeing Anime X mentions that I'm on A1. Willkommen. How about Hadija? Hadija, hello to you too. Willkommen, yeah? Right, hello. Willkommen also as we proceed. So how would you say this sentence? How would you say, have you sold the books, right? Now, you can see this one is referring to the word to sell, which is verkaufen, right? So I should say, I would use it in the do form. I should say, hast du, right? Have you sold the books? Hast du die Bücher, okay? Have you sold the books? Hast du die Bücher verkauft? Hast du die Bücher verkauft? Look at that. Hast du die Bücher verkauft? Have you sold the books? Then I could answer, ja. Ich habe die Bücher verkauft. Or nein. Ich habe die Bücher nicht verkauft. Right? Hast du die Bücher verkauft? Ja. Ich habe die Bücher verkauft. Oder nein. Ich habe die Bücher nicht verkauft. All right? Okay, now I want to give you the following. Guys, go ahead and try this. I know most of you have mentioned they're currently in the A1, right? How many of us here are in A2? How many are in B1? Feel free to also comment below. And where are you tuning in from this evening as we also get to proceed? Now let's get this other one as a question. You want to say, when did you buy? So that this comes in form of a question. When did you buy? When did you buy the house? When did you buy the house? Now, there are two possible answers that one could give here. Oh, Anime currently in A1 from Pakistan. Okay, how are you finding it so far? How are you finding German so far? Is it easy? Do you find it difficult? Share below. Are you finding it fairly fine? You're allowed to also share your experiences below, how you find German so far. So, the statement, when did you buy the house, right? When did you buy the house? Now, this has been given in the past tense. There's a chance of forming it in two different ways. I can see Mahadevi Chogala, willkommen, yeah? When did you buy the house? Simply, the first possible answer I could give right here is this. You could say, wann, right? It's easy for now, but the four cases and articles are giving me a tough time. Yes, I know one of the most challenging areas in German is the issue of cases of nouns. Yeah? In our channel here, I've addressed that topic, cases. What is nominative, accusative? You'll find it also here in my channel. So, when did you buy the house? Wann, the first possible answer, hast du, right? Wann hast du, and then das Haus, wann hast du das Haus gekauft? Wann hast du das Haus gekauft, right? Or alternatively, you could also say, wann kauftest du, right? Wann kauftest du das Haus? Still okay. So either you say, wann hast du das Haus gekauft? Wann hast du das Haus gekauft? Or wann kauftest du das Haus? When did you buy the house? That is still also accepted, yeah? Now, for those of you who just tuned in, remember we said kaufen is to buy, right? Ich kaufe, ich kaufte, ich habe gekauft, right? And then verkaufen to sell. So, ich verkaufe, I am selling. Ich verkaufte, I sold. And then ich habe verkauft, I have sold, right? And then there's ich kaufe ein, I am shopping. And then past ich kaufte ein, I shopped. Then in the perfect, ich habe eingekauft, I have shopped. So I want us to take three more sentences as we conclude. Let's take some three more sentences as we conclude. How will I say the following sentence? That the children, right? The children have sold my house. The children, I will copy it down. Now I want to say, the children have sold my house. The children have sold my house. Look at that. Now remember, these are plural, right? So the children have sold. And we said very well in German when forming the perfect tense, this sold I have to place at the very end. The children have sold my house. So my answer would become, it's plural, die Kinder, the children have sold my house. Die Kinder, now because they're plural, now I would use haben. Die Kinder haben, okay, I can see someone has tried it. Let me see from anime. Anime said die Kinder hat, no? Now because it's plural, now don't use hat, okay, anime? Now you'd use haben, because there are many. So die Kinder haben, and then mein Haus, okay? Die Kinder haben mein Haus, and then verkauft. Die Kinder haben mein Haus verkauft. The children have sold my house. Okay. All right. Let's see the last sentence. Let's see the last sentence as we conclude. Let's see the last sentence. Now look at this one here. Goes on to say like this, that my parents. Now, should it be verkaufen? No. Or for the regular verbs, normally for the regular verbs, when they form the perfect tense, they will have the T at the end, right? For the regular verbs. That's how you say kaufe, kaufte, gekauft. Verkaufe, verkaufte, verkauft. For the regular verbs, they form the perfect tense, having T at the end of it. Okay. All right, now here's my last one. You want to say, have my parents, all right, have my parents bought, the old car? Look at that. Have my parents bought the old car? How do you say that? Have my parents bought the old car? Now again, this has been given in the perfect, yeah? Have my parents bought the old car? Remember, I'm talking about parents, which is plural, right? Parents, which now happens to be plural. and it's in form of a question, yeah? Now I can see there's one from Anime says, Haben mein Eltern die Altauto verkauft. Now this was a nice attempt from inside Anime. Let's now mark it together. Now because it's parents and they're plural, right? They are plural. So again, it will affect so that you say haben, right? Because it's plural. So, haben meine Eltern, haben meine Eltern, okay, haben meine Eltern, and then the old car. Das, it's neuter, and then alte. Haben meine Eltern das alte Auto. Right, das alte Auto, and then gekauft. Gekauft. Look at that. So someone comes and tells you, Entschuldigung, haben meine Eltern das alte Auto gekauft? Have my parents bought the old car? And then of course you could answer by saying, ja, deine Eltern haben das alte Auto gekauft. Ja, deine Eltern haben das alte Auto gekauft, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my belief that now you can easily use these three verbs well. Remember, kaufen, to buy, verkaufen, to sell, and then einkaufen, now is going to be to shop, all right? These are the three verbs that I wanted us to see this evening. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of this short live. Kindly go ahead and like this video, share with your friends, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers, cheers.